Do you know when I actually look at the sound file for that, it is a perfect metronome. Perfect metronome. I have a built-in metronome. It looks like a beat. I looked at the video file for this and I'm like, oh my god, was there a beat? Was there a Diplo track at the start of it? Because the beat is perfectly. So I could have been John Bonham from. I could have been Jam Bonham, because it's a baking pun for Jam Bonham, Ham Jambon. I could have been Ham Jambon from Bread Zeppelin if I had a... Anyway, this is a shy one. This episode wasn't great. I wasn't mad on it. And I should have been, because it's Bread Week. It is Bread Week, fam. And normally, the Star Baker of Bread Week goes on to the final. It usually wins the whole thing. Bread Week is the most difficult one to impress in. And also, you have the honour of impressing the bread man. What's wagwan, my bread man? I shouldn't have done the accent. I tried to bail on it immediately. The bread ran, Paul Hollywood, who looks fucking stunning, by the way. He's wearing his open shirt, this kind of green army shirt. He's growing his beard out a little bit. He still has the side parting, bloody soggy bottom. Side parting is, and he's got a lovely white. He looks like a bloody Purcell ad because he's really white. Not his face. He's very tanned, but I don't know what his current relationship status is, but he has the airs and graces of a man who's dating a young woman. He looks like, he looks happy. He looks happy. Anyway, first gag again. Look, Noel, you're doing a stand-up job. Stand-up for cancer. Normally, they do a bake-off of that, but you're doing a great job. They do a whole Pulp Fiction gag of not that scene, but they open up the box and Paul Hollywood's handshake is in it, and they got the gold light, and then this big floppy hand, and it's funny. That's funny. The idea that they can box the handshake is funny, but then Paul Hollywood comes out and he's like, "Are you fucking missing my handshake?" And he's got a tiny little hand, and he goes, and it's funny. He has stepped up to the plate again. He seems really happy. So whatever's going on, don't break up with Paul, whoever you are, young one. So it is Bread Week. Bread Week is difficult. Bread is the most difficult week. And the lovely Lottie, oh my God, is nervous. She has had to teach herself bread. Teach herself how to make bread. It doesn't come, she's a cake lady. I don't know where she bloody puts it. She's probably making it for other people because she's so nice. Noel's dressed like a bloody T-bird. Noel's dressed like a T-bird. Oh well, a bake. He should have said, but I don't know if he knows he's dressed like a T-bird. Anyway, they got to make a soda bread, which is Irish. They got to make some soda bread. Are you from Ireland? Do you want this? And they have to make a sweet one. They have to make a savory one. And they got to make it free form of bread. Don't be putting that in a tin. It's free form of bread. Don't be putting that in a tin. I could have thought of better song if I thought about it. And they have to make their own butter as well. Mark, who's Irish, said, "I made soda bread before. I made it with my nanny." So he's got a head start in this competition. Linda, she's chill. She's fucking chill about it. Yeah, I'm going to make it. Actually, no, sorry, I wrote chili here. I wrote chili. She's making a chili bread. And she's making a brandy tea cake. Rowan, who, this is just the swan song for the big old fabulous goose that is Rowan. It's just, that bit, and you ever watch The Crystal Maze? And they send in a loser. He normally looks like me, he's got glasses, he's a loser. And he goes in there, he's a loser. He goes in there, he can't even grab the crystal, this guy's a loser. And then it's like 60 seconds to grab as many hooks you can off a thing. And then he's only got one. And they're like, "Oh, get out, come on, get." And the time's like 5, 4, get out. And they're really disappointed in him, get out. That's the feeling I have towards Rowan. Just get out. Just leave. You're shit. You're not good. You've taken a perfectly good space from Bollywood hunk Mac, and you don't deserve to be here. And he's making some Italian sausage polenta fucking soda bread, and we see a little flash to him hanging out with his partner, Paul, and as I expected, Rowan is burning the ear off, and Paul's just sitting there like, yeah, yeah, yeah. And Rowan's like, well, this is a mulberry bush or something. This is a rosemary bush. I don't know what bushes are, but he says something, mulberry bush, and the partner's like, yeah, yeah. And Rowan has come here with a very complicated soda bread. And Paul Hollywood, the different Paul, says, sounds fucking complicated, mate. You fucking just keep it to a fucking better bread. And Rowan is like, yes, it is risky. Almost like I'm a bloody flying in the fucking, like Icarus, fabulous. Fabulous. Sometimes they don't work. Sometimes there's no connection. Cornish Mark he's a fucking cool guy. I love him. He did have the necklace. He's my fave. Currently, Mark is my fave in this competition. This is before he has a good week this week. Spoiler alert. But he was my fave anyway. I like him. He's making a Cornish cheese and sea salt and also a Cornish chocolate. He loves it. He loves the Cornish stuff. And he's shaking up the buttermilk, and he's a hunk as well. And he douses himself in buttermilk. He absolutely bouquet-keys himself. Bouquet-key himself. He bouquet-keys himself. Can you see that I'm proud of a pun I came up with? He bouquet-keys himself. And he covers himself in buttermilk. And he's laughing. He's got a good sense of humour about the whole thing. He's not like, that was Bully Dave. He'd be like, bzz, bzz, bzz. Sparks are coming out of him. And he'd be in a fucking strop, Or Sura, the plant, would probably be like, because she's a plant and you're not supposed to give plants milk. Now, she's a literal plant. That's the route we're going now because I have no content. So he's looking good. Hermione, I love her voice. Hermione, baby, I love your voice. Where are you from? I love your accent. Where are you from? And she's like, I was trying to be adventurous. She's got like this, making this big elaborate soda bread. I was just trying to be adventurous. And we meet her son Stephen. And she's like, and then she's knitting by a tree. And Terry was like, I thought she was fucking rolling a big fucking dank. Hey, is Linda here to join the picnic? But she's actually knitting. She was. She's making some salmon thing. And a fruit and cinnamon soda bread as well. Sura, very quiet so far. Like an actual plant is. Not Chantel. Like a fern. Not fern. Jordan, stop. Isn't Jordan doing a great job, by the way? Jordan Daniel, my very good friend, who does all the... I don't do any of this. He does that. And Jordan, you're great. I love you for it. And I want to thank Alan as well from the podcast studios. He helps me do this every week. If you're a small, medium, or large-sized business, you should come here to the podcast studios and do a video thing or a podcast, our voiceover. Anyway, enough of that. Enough of that shit. I'm back to the bake-off. I hope I haven't lost anyone here on YouTube. So Sura's very quiet, head down. She's got a lovely pink hijab on. Get your hijabs out for the lads. No, there's nothing there. Za'atar and olives, fruit and walnuts. I've never had a bit of za'atar. I don't know what it is. It's spice or something. And they're told they can't knead it too much. Unlike the baker, Jordan, this is your favourite joke. Unlike the baker who got sacked, he needed a poo. Is that the right joke? You can tell me later. Laura's brought a pizza stone from home. Terry won't let me get one. My wife won't let me get a pizza stone. I just keep thinking, right, if I can just get this pizza stone, this is my happiness now. If I just get the fucking pizza stone off Amazon, the top-rated pizza stone off Amazon will be here. Even though I've never even made an elaborate cheese on toast. I've never made pizza dough. I've never even tried to make it in an oven. I don't even order a pizza that much, but I need the pizza stone. That's what my life feels like at the moment. So I was very jealous of her pizza stone. I've seen probably 20 hours of videos on people cooking pizzas at home with a pizza stone. And I want one. Anyway, she's putting chorizo or something on it. Lottie is already doubting herself. She's, Lottie, can you not just see how amazing you are? You not just see how beautiful you are? You're great. Don't be doubting yourself. And she's so funny. She's very funny. Genuinely, I'm not even doing a bit. She's fucking hilarious. She's the funniest one in this tent. She does a whole bit where she's putting like blueberries in the thing, and then Paul is all like, how many blueberries? And she goes, oh, less blueberries. Like, less? I mean, more blueberries. More? And she goes, no blueberries. I'm not putting any blueberries in it. And they all laugh because it's genuinely funny. She's funny. Peter and his gluten-intolerant brother. We see he has similar little lips. He's lovely little lips as well, like his brother. But the two of these lads look like the Da Vinci twins. You know them? Da Vinci. You know? And I think if they were a duo, right, like a kind of Jedward or the Da Vinci twins, they should call themselves, because of his gluten intolerance, they should call themselves the Coeliacs. Like, huh? Because celiac. The Coeliacs. It was at this point as well, then we cut back to Paul, and Terry said she would absolutely throw it into Paul. She really, really liked his army green shirt. Dave's a bit of a petrol head, and he says something that's a bit tapped, right? He's one of these lads. He's not blinking as much anymore, but he still has a bit of an American Psycho thing going on, where he's kind of like, I just want to make flavors that I like and other people like. You know, kind of like they'll fucking like what I tell them to like. Linda, honey, you're putting in some of Mac's honey. Linda, honey. She's putting in some of Mac, the deceased Mac, honey, into this new bread. Linda, honey, are you a bloody Arctic goose? Because you're a cool bird. Thank you very much. Thank you. Mark slashing a bit of tomato puree on top of the soda bread. I just thought I'd turn it into a pizza. You can make anything a pizza. If you just put a bit of tomato on it, you can turn anything. You can make a chicken a pizza by putting a bit of tomato on it. You can make your cabinets a pizza by putting a bit of tomato on it. You can make anything a pizza. That's what he's thinking, I think. You can make anything a pizza. Matt Lucas says, you have 1 minute left, so if you haven't started baking yet, but now was a good time. I just thought it was funny. He's a funny guy. And no huge struggles to get it out. No huge struggles. A bit of an easy one. And I think that the challenges this year have to be a bit easier because they only have 7 weeks to do it and not 10 weeks. That's a different size. So I think they have to make them a bit easier because they don't have a week to go off and practice and then come back. So judges' critiques, quick roundup. Mark, sausage and stout pizza. This was Mark from Armagh. Decent soda bread. They got a hunt for the flavours. There's a bit of chocolate there. You know. He says the stout's good. Paul seems to almost delay a handshake. He doesn't give it though. Laura, delicious cherry marzipan. Lottie, lovely texture, great tasting loaf. Texture, missing the bacon, passable almost. Peter, brave being gluten intolerant, gluten free, but it's gluey and it's falling into bits. Mark's Cornish, very rustic, classic. Paul loves it. The cake's a bit like cranberry. He says it's a bit weak. I feel like if he'd got the cranberry one, Mark was in line for a handshake there. Rowan, flavours of Italy. It's shit. It's not risen. It's like bloody Christ. The day before Easter. On Thursday. On the Friday he got up. It's like bloody... Hey, Mark's is like bloody Jesus on Thursday. Not risen yet. That's why I should. You just got to pause for a second and think, and then the jokes come to you when you're funny like me. Big lumps of sausage, they're fucking too big. And then Paul says it's okay, too much polenta. And he says it's like a bloody lemon drizzle in a sandstorm. Oh! This would be my lips taut from being a lemon. I'm a lemon in a sandstorm. Darude. Nobody like Darude. Mac would have been unreal, I wrote here. Rowan, fuck day. He doesn't belong here. Dave, no flavour. Not enough Gruyere cheese. And not enough flavour. Sura looks as pale as fucking Peter. Yeah, he doesn't say that, but delicious, says Prue, but pale. A higher bake would have been spot on. Linda, honey, pale as well. A little bit longer. Flavours are good. It's shaped too tight. The fruit wasn't burnt. Hermine looks good. The salmon works. It's the sort of bread Paul's never had before. It's a sandwich all in one. And then the other one's got loads of booze. And then the handshake from the box is back. And Paul says, I've never had it before. This is what Bake Off is all about. Really special. And then she says something, and I haven't a clue what she says. Like, I can't believe it! She's like fucking Bobcat Goldthwait out of Police Academy. I love it. Do you know what I would say if I was on Bake Off and I got to shake Paul Hollywood's hand? I would probably say, oh my God, I'm never wiping my arse again. That's what I would think. That's what I would say. And then be like, don't you mean washing your hand again? I'm like, no. I know. I don't know. I thought of that on the way in here, and that doesn't make any sense. Rowan is still deluded. He says, that wasn't so bad. You're the worst one. You don't belong. Get out. Get out. Now on to the technical. Paul says, you need to get your timings right, he says. And it's 6 rainbow bagels, which Paul says are for the NHS, which is nice. But why don't you do that every week? This scone is for the NHS as well. All right, Paul. Thank you. It's very nice, but stop it. So this is a tricky one. Bagels, you can over and under prove. Honestly, Paul seems in great form here. He's just like, rainbow. Prue seems like she's, in just a bit, not in as good form. So we cut back to the tent. Peter is looking like he's got these big bags under his eyes. He looks like a zombie. I tell you, if I was fucking hell, just get to the joke, right? Looking at the bags under his eyes, I bet Michael O'Leary's like, yeah, that's over 20 kg, bitch. Looking at the bags under his eyes, and I can't throw stones because I've got bags. Rowan is the first lad to start smacking the shit out of his dough onto the table. Poor Paul, his partner, his cock. Noel is laying it on thick now with Hermine. Now, obviously, Daddy's got a new favourite, and Noel is like, hey, Lottie, you got the handshake before. Now I'm going over to Hermine, and I'm going to make you a little bit jealous. If you're not going to come over to me, then I'm going to go over to Hermione and going to make you all jealous. And it obviously works because the lovely Lottie's forgot to give her bagels a twist. Chubby Checker's fucking twisting in his grave. The cheese not twisting. Her bagels. And if they are under, these bagels will not dome. They won't turn into a dome if they're under. And if they're over, as soon as they hit the water, they're going to puff up like a fish. If they're overproofed. Rowan says, I hope they puff up and hide the wrinkly bits. Enough about your Johnson, Rowan. Enough about your Da Vinci. I don't want to hear about it. And something happens, and something starts happening here in the contest where the bagels, in a weird, maybe a spell for Halloween, has been cast on the bake-off tent because the bagels start to anthropomorphisize into their masters. Dave's are flat and dense, Rowan's are too soft and wrinkly, and Peter's are pale and thin. And the judges critique them. This is what they say. Linda, honey, it's a good size. It's nice and crispy. It's chewy. Peter, flat and underproved. Sura, not twisted, nice flavour. Dave, flat, overproved. Lottie, crispy and overbaked. Rowan, overproved, not crispy. Mark, underdone in the water. Hermione, dark and tough. Mark, smooth and vibrant, delicious. Laura, some issue with the water, but nice bread. Rowan is dead last. I can't believe he's here. I can't believe he's still in the competition. Get out. Give Mac another chance. Leave Brittany alone and get Mac back in. Then Dave is second last, then Sura. Obviously, the producers have cut ties with their plant, Sura. And then you got Lottie in the middle is there. Mark from Northern Ireland is third. Mark from Cornwall is second. And Linda is first. Very interessante. And Rowan, fucking deluded. He's like, oh, what a fabulous challenge. What a fabulous... He's like that, that comic of the dog sitting there with the world on fire around him. And he's like, this is fine. That's Rowan. And Sura seems like she's checked out. So they're talking about this and they're absolutely rinsing Rowan's sand cake. They say Dave is slipping, but they've made it clear Rowan is in the firing line. Showstopper, they have to make a large bread plaque, like a Harvest Festival sheath, for something that they're most grateful for. They have 3 hours to do it. This is big. Rowan pulls out some fucking... Well, normally festival sheath plaques are inedible, so this will be a challenge. Oh yeah, Rowan, really? How many fucking Harvest Festival bread plaques are you just making at home for your fella? How many? Oh, well, normally the ones that I make are inedible. So this is not the normal Harvest fucking Festival plaques I normally make. Mark is making a Dharma wheel, not from Dharma and Greg, as I found out, but it's a Buddhist thing. After he lost his leg in a motorcycle accident, he found philosophy in Buddhism. I fucking love him. I love him. He is so positive. He is such an amazing father. I want to fucking toss myself into the liffey because I can't spend 8 hours playing the PlayStation. And this guy lost his leg, found Buddhism, and he's an incredible baker. I love him. Linda loves kneading bread. She's cool. She likes to get in with her hands. Her whole thing is a farm plaque. It's all about the circle of life. It's lovely. It's got a cow in it. She's fab. Life's fab. Everything's fab. Rowan is making... Oh, here we fucking go. He's making the biggest plaque, surprise, surprise, in the competition. It's a plaque that has a pear tree and the theatre face. And then he says he acknowledges the fact that it's curtains for him, but he's going to have fun anyway. And he shows that, which I have to give respect to him, by wearing these big fuck-off cowboy boots. He's just like, you know what? I'm wearing me fucking good boots. You know, I'm going out with a bang, with a clip-clop in me boots. And it's fair fucks to him. Hermione's saying, I'm going to make some brioche. Paul says, you can't make brioche in 3 hours. And he says, it's so fucking not possible. And she goes, I'm going to risk it. It's a road trip cake. And it looks shite, to be perfectly honest, even the drawing of it. And they normally give him a bit of a bonus for that. Laura is making a theatre-inspired cake. She loves the West End. Paul's never been. And Matt says something amazing. He says, Paul, what sort of gay man are you if you've never been to the theatre? And what I thought was amazing is Paul just laughs at it. Like, which is great. And there's no cut to be like him being like shrugging or acting weird. He just laughs at it. And he doesn't do anything to try and clarify that he is not gay in anything like that, which is great. And I love that that's what TV is now. I just love how all-inclusive it is, that even he's saying that Paul's gay. And Paul doesn't feel like an urge to be like, I'm not gay. Isn't that great? I thought that was great. Just compared to how TV used to be when Bake Off, from when it would have started. The fact that there was closeted bakers in this, and now I think it's fun. Anyway. Mark from Armagh, he wants to represent the apples. Armagh's known for its apples. Sure, doesn't Armagh actually stand for apples really make a guy happy? That's what Armagh stands for, so that's what I'm making. Rowan, so that's exciting. Rowan says, oh, it's such a shame that this is a competition, isn't it? Isn't it such a shame that the World Cup final isn't just a kickabout? This is a competition, get the fuck out. Anyway, Sura, she's just not showing up. She's doing something about picking tomatoes from her sitting room. She's clearly lost it from a plant. Should have made a connection there. The plant. She makes... Hang on. Whoa. I thought when I started this whole competition, I was making the statement that Sura is planted in by the producers to shake things up. It has become clear now that she is an actual plant. A fern. No, not that fern. Like a tree. Like a plant. And now it all makes sense. Her greatest memory is a plant. We'll figure it out. If you're watching this far, you don't care that that's a shite joke. Dave is making a picture of my house with my wife outside and my dog. I'm Dave. I'm this many years old. Basic. Bitch, Dave, I love you. Well, I don't dislike you. I'm sorry for being rude. Lottie, who lives with her aunt and uncle and cousins, is doing the beach house. And she does it all in the proving bag so that it can prove while she does it. She is like making a ship in a bottle. Is her auntie this woman cannot do. She's amazing. I kept saying to my wife, she's amazing. Peter's making... No, hang on. He's Edinburgh skyline. He's making a lovely little Edinburgh skyline. It looks all right. I'm grateful for the Edinburgh skyline. Rowan seems confident, but I think he's getting all the power from his fuck-off cowboy boots that he's wearing because he's building an actual tree out of fucking bread. He's not going to win. He is not going to win. Laura's lashing a load of gold on hers. She said she wasn't posh. She's put gold on everything. She loves Les Mis. She's seen it 5 times. That's at least 500 quid. If you have ever had 500 quid, then you're posh. I love Les Mis too. And she saw Matt Lucas in Les Mis, which I thought was phenomenal. I think he was a master of the house, isn't worth a shit, but quit. I don't remember the song. Anyway, no one's failing dramatically. It's not very interesting, but yeah. So everyone's just kind of doing it. There's no crazy drama. The biggest drama was fucking Mark getting a bouquet-keyed earlier on with the buttermilk. Anyway, judges' critiques. Hermione. Bit abstract. Paul says brioche doesn't add any flavour. He didn't need to say it, but he kind of needed to get it. I told you so. It's enriched, but it's not brioche. Focaccia is a good design. Sura, dramatic. The plat's not bad. Texture's good, but she has this face on her. She's like, that it almost looks like they've unearthed a fucking nappy from it that she's accidentally put in. But it's well seasoned, well structured, nice, delicious. Laura, quiet punch, says Prue, almost sparking poor Laura out. Heavy, bit raw, but not bad. Just bad texture. Peter, simple, effective, but a bit tough and not very impressive. Lottie, design's good. Beautifully risen, like bloody Christ on Sunday. No, Friday he wrote. Lacks flavour. Like the bloody body of Christ. The fucking Eucharist. Tastes like shite. Tastes like the fake money that you used to get in, you'd see all those sweets hanging, and it were like fun sweets, and they have the two eyes. I'll have to find a picture, Jordan. I'll send it to you. And they'd have like paper money, and you'd have like eating punts. That's what the Eucharist is like. Lacks flavour. Yeah. Linda, honey, it's a nice concept. It's a nice design. I love the cow. I love the tiger. It's quite dense, though. I love the tiger, but it's quite dense, like a bloody inbred liger. Quite dense. More olives, more proven. Mark's lovely orchard from our ma, which, as I said, is apples really make a guy happy. Our Prue likes the bee. She thinks it doesn't look good. It does look shy. It looks shy. It's not great. Other Mark from Cornwall. It's a nice plat. It's neat. It's clever. Looks like nice bread. Flavour could do with some salt, but Prue says it looks and tastes great. Mark is in line for a... Dave. Paul says, I would have made the individual bricks. Maybe next time make the individual bricks. I love that when he does that. Maybe next time when you make this, what fucking makes you think I'm ever making this shit again? I only did this to get a Guardian cookbook. What makes you think I'm ever baking this ever again? Next time when you're building an elaborate harvest wreath, why don't you just do little bricks? Next time you're doing an exact copy of this harvest, it doesn't. I always find it funny. Anyway, it's too dry and overbaked. And the lad is too pregnant in it. He is. Rowan, it's very big and attractive. Blue cheese and pear. He pressed it in. You can't taste the blue cheese. It's all sour, no substance. It's all sour, no substance. The bread is bland. They could and should have kept Mac alive. Paul says that the overall standard wasn't great, which I totally agree. There was no Showstopper. There was no lion. And Mark and Sura are lined up for Star Baker. Sura has been a bit quiet, the actual plant, Sura. And then it comes down to it, and obviously, well, hang on before we get to that. Mark, Star Baker. Great lad, top lad. And the likelihood is going to be in the final. That's normally how it works. And leaving the competition, Rowan, of course, Mr. Style over Substance. Good luck for your fucking waistcoats. Best of luck with your waistcoat line, Mark. Or it's Rowan. And then Mark, the cutest man alive, his kids rock up. They give him a hug. They shouldn't be in. They shouldn't be around. I know he's a single dad, but they should have to be put in special care if he's away. He can't have any additional. If they can't have the support of their family, then he shouldn't be able to have his kids. I'm only messing. It's lovely. It's a lovely moment. And he starts crying. He's a lovely single dad. I think that's the highlight, to be honest. Mark was the standout star of this Bake Off, and thank God Rowan is gone. Not a very eventful one. But Bread Week, you have to impress. Sura has impressed. Mark has impressed. And it is not looking good for... I don't care. Thank you for watching. And please hit like and subscribe if you are watching this on the YouTube. I want to thank, of course, Jordan Daniel for doing all this. And of course, Alan and the Pod Stuff Headcast Network, the podcast studios, for letting me do this and shooting it here. If you like this podcast, listen to there's more podcasts on this feed. My actual podcast, my normal non-Bake Off podcast is on this. Called Tony Cantwell's Hit Show. And also, I am doing another podcast on my Patreon. You can check that out there. An extra podcast on the Friday. And for the month of October, me and my pal Mark Jago are doing a podcast about movie monsters called Sexy Beasts. Do check them out. If you want to give them a lash and give them a like. But if you can do anything, share this video. Thank you. I love you. Goodbye.